welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you what is in our morning cart, the stuff that we do for group work basically every single day. And so if you enjoy this type of content and other homeschool and lifestyle content, please remember to subscribe and let's talk about this cart. Okay, the cart is right here behind me and I will move the camera so you guys can see better in just 1 minute. But we don't have like a morning basket because we have too much stuff to go in just a basket. So we have a cart. This cart is from Amazon. I had done some from Michael's, but I felt like this one's sturdier. I'll try to remember to link it below. If I forget, just comment and let me know. But this is where all of our group work basically lives. And so again, I'll go through closer, but almost everything on the top is stuff that we use daily, if not just like every other day as we rotate through curriculum. And then the rest of the cart has stuff we might use daily, but it also has stuff I just kind of keep there that may come up that we need it, may not, you know, it just is there just in case so I don't have to be running around looking for stuff. And then it has a few like read alouds or curriculum options that we might use a little bit later in the school year, but this is just the best place for me to store them so that everything's like in one place and it's easy for me to remember where it all is. So that's kind of how I utilize the morning cart. So now let's jump in and I will show you what's in it. Okay, so this is the main portion of our morning cart. You know, all the stuff on the top is stuff that we use all the time. And so first of all, over here, this stuff isn't completely finished. This is like all the last week back to school, trying to get everything done. And so I still need to bind these, but this is their history notebook right here. Sorry, let me see if I can move that so you can see. And then all the books that go with that. So we're gonna talk about Pompeii first. So I have the books that we're gonna read with it that are right next to it. So everything's where I need it to be. And then science is right here. And so we have motion and simple machines is what we're gonna talk about first. And then my kids' workbooks are right here with it. And also the books that come with the packet if you want to buy them on the Good and the Beautiful. And then also science for little hearts and hands from the Good and the Beautiful is also right here. For my 7-year-old, we go through this a little bit with her. And so that's what's in that spot. These things are all kind of combined together just because they don't take up as much space. Some of these they can't all be in their own folder because they take up way too much space. So anyway, all this stuff is geography. There's a lot of geography stuff. So this is our main book. So our 50 states, it's not grass. And so we're about halfway through that. And so we're gonna keep working through that. And then it has the workbooks for each of my kids, well, my 3 oldest kids. And then there's like little review question books. That's what this is. And then every once in a while, since we're doing US geography, we will do one of these draw right now things. And these ones are all about the United States and stuff. So that's something we've been doing. So these books behind it are my kids' little books that have the pages in it for them to draw and to write all the things. So that's what's next right in this one. And then again, like I said, this is also geography. This is Waldock Way curriculum, and these are all, so my oldest son's is split into 2 books because I didn't print them double-sided. So print them double-sided because it's really big if you don't. But this has all of her states in here, and I mostly love it for these coloring pages. So if I'm talking or reading a lot in here, or doing the read aloud for our geography, they can color the picture of the state that we're talking about. And that's really nice, you know, it keeps their hands busy. And it usually, like, it has the bird, it has the tree, and like the flowers are in here. But there's a lot of other things in this book as well. So it has a flag, they can color the flag right here, and then also can go through some of the things about the state, interesting facts. We don't utilize this completely. Like I said, it's mostly like a supplement to our normal geography curriculum. They just use it to kind of distract their hands while I talk. So that's what that is. And then this is another one that has a couple different things in here, like this one, because again, geography is humongous. But this has stuff that we just do normally in the morning. So we say the Pledge of Allegiance. I printed this out years ago and laminated it. We still have it. And then we'll usually do some sort of like mindfulness or meditation. So these are two of the books I like that are just simple, but we also might start doing some more yoga type stuff as well. And then I don't know if I'm gonna make myself a binder or not for this, but the Articles of Faith tracker is just for them memorizing some of the Articles of Faith for our church. And so that's why I have this right here. And it's just like, I don't know, free. So I'm like, but I don't have other things I need to put in a binder. And then this is all scripture stuff right here. So this is their notebooks and then a book that we sometimes use, but these are from the Redheaded Hostess, just her little activity books. This year we're studying the Book of Mormon, and so that's what we have right here. So that's mainly the first shelf. And then also I have these little speakers. We haven't used them in a while. We actually use them more when we were doing the Good and the Beautiful history because they had a lot of like listening aspects to it. But if I need to turn on music while they're doing some quiet activity or whatever, they're nice to have in here. So I have a couple of those speakers. But let me scoot you down so we can see the next part of the cart. Okay, I'm gonna sit off to the side on the floor. This is the easiest way to do it, especially because I'm worried if I just held the camera, it'd be really shaky and I don't want it to be shaky for you guys. So here you go. Maybe we'll lower it or tilt it a little bit so you can see a little better. But this is the next part of the cart. And this is stuff that we also use almost daily. So it has My Year of Nature. So this is the first time that we're using this, and I actually got a few more. I'll try to link them. They're actually kind of hard to find. Actually, when I went back to Amazon, they didn't have, they had one, and then I got that one, and then they had another one from a different seller. So I think they have some used, but they might be kind of difficult to find. So I'm sorry about that, but I saw this and thought it would be cool every single day, kind of something that makes you either get into nature or think about nature. And if I can't get enough for my 4 oldest kids, they can just do it like in a separate notebook and we just have the one copy. So these notebooks I got for a journal that's over here. So they probably should be together. All these things get set out the night before, and so they're all just kind of in a row. But this is question a day journal for kids. This is another new thing for us this year. And so I saw Jessica from the Waldock Way using it actually. And so I was like, oh, we should try that. Again, I didn't want to buy all of them a book. And this one's really easy. You know, this nature one has some pictures in it. So since this one doesn't have that, it's just questions, I thought it would be easy to just go through day one and write it, like maybe write it up on the board behind me, and they can write it in these notebooks right here. These I got from Walmart. I bought them because they're super cute. And that was really my motivation behind it. These are some more journals. This is one question a day. We've had these for a few years, and you know, so you have some random, they're not consistently written in. So you have some days like, okay, summertime, obviously we don't use them. So summer is like blank. But then if you go to other times, there's parts of these that have 2 because it is good for 3 years and you fill in the date. So you can tell the times that we've used it. And then obviously a little bit later in the year, it has not been 2 years yet. So we probably started like in January or something, and we're consistently doing it and didn't, you know, this will be our second fall doing it. So. And then we have our scriptures. So whatever book of scripture, whether it's the Book of Mormon, the Bible, whatever, I'll have my kids' scriptures right here, like just a small version of it instead of like a huge, massive book, so that they can have their own individual book. They can mark it, all that kind of stuff. So 2 of my kids have theirs right now. My daughter's been taking her smaller one like this to church instead of her huge set of scriptures. She needs a new scripture case. That's really the big reason. So she needs a new scripture case, and we haven't done that yet. So she's been taking the small one. And then I think my husband's actually been using the other one. So we'll have to get them, but it's just my 4 oldest kids have those. And then these are our read alouds right here. We're not reading them all at the same time. I just put them here. So Ernest Shackleton, we're gonna be finishing. And then Number the Stars, I think, is next. And then Refugee, we're gonna read. And then this is my daughter's. This was something I think I got her for her birthday or for Christmas. My 7-year-old, my first mom and daughter journal. So sometimes I'll pull this out when we're just doing stuff together, and we'll fill it out a few pages at a time. And you know, it's just kind of a fun little way to get into journaling. If you haven't seen my videos about journaling, I have a couple. How I've journaled for years and years and years, since I was a teenager, and every single day basically, and how important it is to me to journal. So, and then the other side of this, on this shelf, just has some bingo cards I've created for scripture. So I have a variety of bingo cards here. There's several for like Old Testament, New Testament. So there's lots of different bingo cards. And then these are all like the calling cards for the bingo cards. And then some other like questions, some just kind of trivia things or games for scriptures, which we have a few more of those things on the bottom shelf as well down here once I get you there. How are we gonna look at the bottom? That's like so far on the ground. I'm gonna like lay down. Just kidding. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. But I'll probably have to take you off the tripod because the tripod is too tall. But that is what is on this shelf. So these two, again, I basically empty this most days and have all the schoolwork out on the table. The bottom shelf, that will not be the case. Okay, that's again stuff that's just a little bit extra and things like that. So let me move you down again and we will check that stuff out. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this as steady as possible. It's kind of hard when I'm talking, but we're gonna do the best we can. So these are some scripture games right here that I just keep here just in case we need them or give something to my kids. So these are language arts games. So this is compound words, and this is some parts of speech game. These are more scripture like matching, and then the Spy It, which is like Spot It. Is that the game? It's kind of, you know, like a remake but scripture version. And then these are some other books that I plan on reading this year, but I don't know exactly when we'll get to them. So I just have them there. And then these are notebooks for scriptures. We used them a little bit at the beginning of this school year last year, or the beginning of this year in January. I can't remember when, but haven't used them as much. So I just kind of kept them there to see if we end up using them or not. I'm not really sure, but I don't want to put them someplace else. And then these 3 books right here are actually for our geography curriculum, but we're not currently for this first quarter reading one of them, but these are the 3 that we have left for our curriculum. So once we get to them, I'll move it up to this shelf up here so that it's with their other read alouds, but we're not doing that now. And then also, these are just, again, some random things that we have here. So these are 30 days of sex talks, and then good pictures, bad pictures. So every year I try to go through them. I actually don't know if we did very much last year. I think we did maturation right after my baby was born, so we did talk about some of these things. So I try to go through these topics at least once a year, you know, and as my kids get older, they ask different questions, you know, and they have different understandings. So I feel like it's good just to review it. And this book too is good sometimes just to add into our daily morning basket, and we can just read a little bit and discuss it. So that's a really good book for that. Then this is like therapy type book. Someone actually sent it to me here on YouTube, and so I really like it. It's about dealing with emotions and things like that. So you could go through that with your kids. And then the other 2 books here are for Pompeii as well. I just didn't want to put them up at the top, and we're not going to do them right at the beginning of the quarter, so I just put them here so they'd be easy to get to. And then these are some random like things about states that we've gotten in subscription boxes, just in case, since we are talking about states right now, my kids want to look at them, and they might actually use these because they're going to do short like oral reports on some of the states we're talking about in the fall. So they might actually want to use those for that. And then the other side, if I can flip this around without knocking over the camera or hitting myself, doesn't have very much. It's just mostly anything that we might need quickly besides like magnets. Magnets might also be a good thing, but my kids have magnet boards here in this homeschool room. So if I needed a magnet, that would be easy to get. But I have tape, so this can be used to tape stuff, but it can also be used for like art projects and things like that. And then just normal tape. We have, this is marvelous tape. Is that how they even say it? I don't know. It sounds like I'm trying to marvelous, you know, marvelous tape. But this is really good for hanging things up, and it's not supposed to take paint off the walls. Most of the time it doesn't, but it has taken paint off my walls. So just a warning for that. And then I have some like push pins right here that I use for the cork board that has our calendar on it. And then these are just little magnets. Magnet bookmarks is what they are. And my kids use them sometimes to mark where they are in their math books or language arts books. So it's really easy for them to figure it out. And the same with these, like they're like sticky tabs. And so if we need to mark, sorry, it keeps wanting to like focus on the background instead of what I'm holding, so it's having a hard time. There we go. So the tabs, you can put them in a book, like for where you are reading. So I'll use these sometimes for our read aloud, so I know where we are really quickly. Or you could mark their curriculum books so they know where they are. So I think I got a bunch of these off of Amazon, as well as, you know, the tape, the thumbtacks. I'll try to link what I can below. Some of this stuff is just old and I don't remember exactly where I got it all. So anyways, if you have questions about anything I've mentioned and I did not link it or explain it well, just put it in the comments and I'll try to explain it better. So that's what we have. All right, so that's what's in our morning basket cart thing over here. I hope this video was helpful, at least to show you how I like to store stuff. This has just worked better for us over the years. It's very easy for me to pull out, and when I don't have little kids crawling around that can pull stuff off of it, it's really convenient because I can just keep it by me, whether we're working back here or at the kitchen table, and everything is on it. Like I can just pull it off. And I have started laying out schoolwork more consistently, so I don't need as much stuff on here, and that has been helpful as well. But again, everything is in one spot, so it makes it so easy for me. So let me know how you do your morning basket or cart or group work. You know, is there a special way you store it? What are you working on right now? What are you doing for group work coming, you know, this first quarter going into fall? I'm sure we'd all love to hear about it, as you know, some of the people have already started homeschool, you know, back to homeschool, and we're getting ready to start homeschool again for the fall. Everyone wants to know what everybody else is doing because it's just so helpful for each of us. So put that down in the comments. Remember to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.